pretty fair estimate for how long it took. So we're gonna head on over to the garden. Struggling. There's 2 orange ones now. If you love something enough, you will make a reason to do it. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. Alright, it is July 20th today, Saturday. We've got a lot on our list of what we need to get done this weekend. I quick wrote down what we needed to do and accomplish. So on my list, flip compost, do an experiment with coffee and pinecone water, transplant some tomato plants, fertilize berries and veggies, fence in the berry plants, harvest the green beans, and deal with some more ants in our garden. So very first on my list is something that I've been avoiding to do. I've been putting this off. This will take me 10 minutes to do. Why have I been putting it off? I don't know. But now I'm starting to see that the animals are getting to this blueberry bush, and it is very frustrating that I didn't do this sooner. So that, of course, is first on my list. Alright, so we're at our first task. I estimated it was going to be about 10 minutes, so what am I going to do? I'm going to start a timer just to see how correct that was. So all I really am going to do is roughly measure how much I need. So I want to do a little bit because I want it to go into the ground a little bit. So I'm just going to cut it right here, stick it into the ground, it'll be about the same height as the rest of it. So we're just going to go cut this. Original one wasn't either, and for this it's more function over form. So really the function is to just keep the bunnies and the deer away from eating this foliage so we can maybe grow some berries soon. I did go over on time. I had a 10-minute timer set and we're about 2 minutes over, 2.5, so not too bad. Pretty fair estimate for how long it took. Alright, task 1 is completed. Fenced in berry plants took us 12 minutes. We're on to the next. About 3 tasks will all be handled in the garden. So this morning when my husband was out mowing, I actually just quick packed my wagon full of what I need to do the transplanting, to do harvesting green beans, and to fertilize. So I should have everything I need in here. If not, obviously we can always make another trip. But yeah, it's kind of nice to have your supplies organized so you can know what you're going to be doing and not have to run around and waste time. So we're going to head on over to the garden. we've been talking about possibly doing some stuff with this bed, what we're gonna end up doing. Still not fully decided yet, but I'd love to have a really long, like 3 foot by 20 foot bed of potatoes, or not potatoes, onions and garlic. We've been thinking that would maybe grow well over on that side of the house, and we'd use them more than we use the mint that's probably been there for 15 years. Although I do like the mint, it is refreshing. Next on the list is transplanting the tomatoes. Oh, dang. Right, these are the 10 gallon. We haven't used these from AC Infinity yet. We've used 5 gallon. We like them. Our other tomato plant isn't a 5 gallon, but these are just a little bit bigger. So we'll see how this works out. These are the plants that we've been putting off transplanting. And like I said, somebody could argue that there's not going to do anything after this, just give up, cut your losses. But I have hope that we could at least get one harvest out of this. These were planted about 2 months ago. We've got fruit. We've got some just turning now. And so 2 months from now will be September 20th. And I think that's a perfect time to enjoy some Roma tomatoes with your family and friends. So I'm going to go for it. We'll see what happens here. So I'm just going to set a 20-minute timer. We'll see how correct I am when estimating how long things take me in the garden. Struggling. This thing doesn't even have a weight on it that I can see. Oh, 42 pounds, okay. I'm weak. Oh yeah, that's... One thing I can already say about these 10-gallon pots is they're a good size if you're using store-bought dirt to just stuff the whole bag in and you know, have one side completely opened up, stuff the whole bag in, and then just lift it up. So it's a good size for that. Oh. Okay, make sure that's a good size, and it is. Got some roots there, pretty long. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the mycos. I'm actually gonna go ahead and remove the bottom two, take out some weeds. I'll dig this a little bit deeper. A little crooked, but we'll come by after and stake this one so it starts correcting how it's growing a little bit. But I think it's gonna just be happy to get some new dirt. Do the same with this. Take off the bottom. Actually, in this case, I'll take off the bottom 3. This one's a little yellowy anyway. Okay. Yeah, we'll stake these and get some water on them. Roma tomatoes, planted July 20th. Is it worth it? Are we wasting our time in dirt? Or will we at least get one harvest this summer/fall? We'll see. So let's go ahead and water and see how long it actually took us for this whole process. These have been through some stuff. Like I said, they were in their seed cell trays for like way too long. Like they were wanting to jump out of their seed cell trays. I was like, do I want to plant them? I went ahead for it and planted them in a little bit bigger of a pot, but not big enough. and then, you know, they stayed in that pot for too long. So these are some pretty resilient plants. The fact that they're still getting bigger tells me that they're wanting to still grow, and as long as they're still wanting to grow, I will take care of them, you know. But yeah, time we've got 9 minutes, 8.5 actually. So I'd say that's good. On to the next. We're gonna go ahead and fertilize. We're gonna start with the tomatoes. The bag calls for 5 tablespoons, but I don't want to over fertilize. We mix some potting mix in this dirt, and we also mix some 10-10-10 a couple months ago when we planted these. I don't want to run the risk of over fertilizing, so I'm just gonna go with 2 tablespoons and work it into the soil around these tomato plants. We can always add more, but we can't take it away, so I'm just gonna err on the side of caution and just do 2. It might, if I do have to add more, it might eat up more time, but you can't kind of take away that fertilizer if you put too much in the beginning. So we'll go ahead and get started on this. So I've just moved back the straw that I have down, and I'm gonna keep an eye out for ants too, because I know right in front of this bed we have an ant hill that still isn't dead, even with multiple treatments of borax. I had put a whole packet of basil seeds like 2 days before we had a huge rainstorm, and I got 2 plants out of it. But you know, it's delicious, so I'm not too mad about that. I mean, it happens. There's 2 orange ones now. This morning we had 1. This one was just barely starting to turn orange this morning. Like, how many hours ago? Like 3 hours ago. Something enough, you will make a reason to do it, and if you don't, you'll find an excuse. Done today. I think we had 6 tests on the list. We got 5 of them done. One of them we're gonna do tomorrow. Again, I overestimated, but It's also, sometimes when you have a big list, it feels like a lot more than it really is. One thing I'm going to keep in mind though, just like the compost doesn't take long, and like any video you watch, they're going to say it's so easy, anyone can do it. It's like, yeah, that's true, and it might be easy, but if you really just don't enjoy something, why? So I'm going to keep that in mind, because this is my first time really doing compost to this degree, and right now I'm really just not enjoying it. It just leaves me feeling creepy crawlies. It's probably good to have a little bit of that in your life here and there, but you just got to keep that in mind. Like, just because it's easy doesn't mean you have to do it. You know, is it worth 10-15 minutes a few times a week? I don't know. At this point, I'll have to keep that in mind as we go through this growing season. Thanks for watching, and like the video, and also if you have any feedback on things that we could do differently, go ahead and leave some comments. So I'd like to see like what you guys feel about compost and doing all the little things that go into a garden, or if you maybe don't like some of those things and you found a different way to still achieve the same results. Thank you again for watching, and have a great rest of your day.